See these gnats and stuff flying around? I don't know if they're showing up, but there's little gnats all over the place, like right there. Little gnats. Excuse my Neanderthal hair. So these, there you go. See that? 2 years ago, I did an experiment to see if I could stop getting bitten by bugs, because I always got chewed up, like really bad, all the time, my whole life. Right now these bugs are bugging me, hence their name. They fly on me, but none of them are biting me. And this has been, well, 2 years that I haven't had them bite me. But before that, I would get eaten up all the time. It would just be horrible. But now, like you could probably see, it's coming around my face, but they're not biting me. And I remember 2 years ago watching there was a show, and it was a science show, and they did this experiment. They were in like Amazon or someplace like that, and they took these people, all had they did different blood type and whatnot, and they put them, just picture like there's this it looked like a giant spoke if you're looking down on it, and in the middle of that spoke they had like it was a structure, and there was all these insects in there, and then there would be a tube, like
with mosquitoes.
Yeah, with mosquitoes, and then there would be like a pathway going out, like imagine it being a spokes on a wheel, and at the end of each spoke there was a room for these individual people. And so they put, I mean, just unfathomable amount of mosquitoes in there, and they would release them. And they found in that show that there was definitely a preference that the mosquitoes had, and they would go chew those people up. At the end they concluded there is a genetic marker that causes the bugs to bite some people and not bite others. So at that point I was just like, okay, that makes sense. That's why I'm just going to always have to, you know, get chewed up. And like Steph and I would go on walks. Now I don't get bit, but prior to that we would go on walks. Nothing, she never gets bug bites. They get on her, but they don't bite her, and they would eat me up. And when her parents came into town and we'd go on a walk, her mom and I would just get tore up, and her and her dad would be fine. So it's figured, okay, we just have the genetic marker for that. Past 2 years, I don't get bit, and that's because of the carnivore diet. That was the experiment. It wasn't done for bugs, but that has to be in my top two benefits of the carnivore diet, because right now I'm hearing them buzz on me. It's a whole new experience for me. Steph was always
in my life, always. I'm always like, yeah, they're not biting you, and he'd be like, they're biting me, they're biting me.
We would
and they're
walk,
little gnats, and gnats are biting.
Everything's biting. But we would walk through a cloud of bugs, and she would be fine, and I would get eaten up. Like I don't know if you can see them, but they are literally all over the place.
They are.
And don't get bit anymore. And our friend who is new to carnivore, 90 days in, our neighbor friend, we were saying, hey, let's see how the summer is.
Oh, you're
and because she would get eaten up also, and now she is not getting 90 days in, and she's not getting bit like she would get tore up at this time of the year also. So I don't understand.
Nope.
Like they had that show and they said it's a genetic marker. So is carnivore overriding a genetic marker? Nope. Or are they wrong? Because it's amazing. And don't get me wrong, I can't stand them touching me. It always, I can't stand that, but they're not biting me, and that's huge. I used to wear these bracelets on my ankles, both ankles, wrist, the citronellus. I tried everything, and nothing worked. Not one thing worked. All of that, none of that stuff worked for me. Who knew? I just had to be a carnivore, and now they check me out, but they don't bite me. Anybody else experience that? And how long have you been doing it? Because the first summer when we started Carnivore, the first bug season, is when I found it, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're not doing anything. I hope it's the same, you know, next year. And so far, it is. And I really would do this diet just for that. If that was the only thing I was wanting, was to get rid of the bugs, I would do this diet for that. And you don't understand that unless you're the person that every time you go somewhere, you get chewed up. And when I was in the Marine Corps, I was in North Carolina. Oh my goodness. I was a walking buffet for the bugs out there. Let me know if you guys have got the same superpower. If bugs bothered you before and now they don't, or if there's something else that you found out that it's just not like an unusual thing that you've got from being on a carnivore diet. And, you know, not the losing weight. You know, we know it improves our health, but is there something else that's kind of odd or mysterious? Because this is mysterious to me. Watching a show that the science, they proved that it was a genetic marker, and I am overriding that genetic marker, apparently. Let me know. It's really remarkable. I hope you guys can see this. There's so many bugs. And I even have a scratch here. Got a scratch. They're not even messing with that. Wow. But they're just swarming around me. They're pissed off because they don't have anything to chew on.
You want to see what does bite him? Give him a kiss, honey.
No.
He's in a bitey mood. He's
Look
tired.
Look at this bug.
Look at that little bug.
You little
Let's see.
bug.
Oh.
You little bug.
He's
Whoa.
swarming you. He's getting ready to bite. He's ready for bed.
Yes.
Okay.